Hey, it's Karen, and today we are going, or this week, we're going to say this week, we're focusing on St. Patrick's Day. So, and what I'm going to show you, because I don't always have very much green, I do have a green shirt on today. It's probably the only one I have. So I don't always have green to wear. So you need something St. Patrick-y to wear so you don't get pinched. So I made these into little pins. So no matter how many you make, you need a pin back for each, and these are the 1.5 inch ones. And then for the clover, we'll start with the clover, but we have the little pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We have this little leprechaun dude. I saw him on Pinterest and I just did my own thing. I start with the tiny piece of core, and all I'm gonna do is make a base. And I'm not even going to felt it a lot. It's just my base. Okay. And you don't even really need to do this, but again, core wool always keeps you from using a lot of your regular colors. So let's start with some meadow. We're going to make his little hat. We're going to make the hat, and I make a little pillow. So the top of the hat is wider than the bottom of the hat. So I'm going to start by adding this on to here. And I didn't write any of these measurements down for you guys. This is bad. So the hat's about 1 inch tall. I'm just going to fold that top piece over. Now, you need to build this up a little bit so that it will stand up. And have some substance to it. When you're making a little lapel pin or a bag pin, they have to have some substance. They have to be a little bit stiff. So if you like to poke a lot, this is the thing for you, because these, you can't leave these soft because they'll curl over. So I'm gonna take it off my pad here. Poke from this side. I'm not gonna worry about the white going through. Because right now I'm just trying to make that into a nice solid piece. We will. So at the top of the hat, it is 1.5 inches. At the bottom, it is 1 inch. You can tuck it in with your needle, however you're comfortable doing it, but you want these edges to be nice and clean. We're not going to do the whole hat yet, just this back piece. I have an idea for our next week, Canon. I saw this bunny I might have to try and recreate. Sometimes I see sewn items and I like to try and felt them. Okay, so next you're going to take some skin color of your choice. Piece of my farm in it. And make a little pillow. Again, we don't have to worry about it being round yet. And we're not going to build it up. It's just going to be a little flat piece for right now. So when you pull your piece of cord, just remember that he is only 1 3/4 inch wide. So So you don't want your core to be sticking out further than that. And next we're going to take some marigold. You're going to tear it down into little strips, some kind of orange. It could probably be red. And I'm going to start this way. And I'm going to lay it over just because I want a clean little edge there. And then I'm kind of deciding where I want my face to be. This takes a couple layers. You know, remember the little gnomes we did? You can make their beards curve around the same way. Flip it back up. Come up the side. I didn't have enough. Don't worry about right here. We're going to fill that in. But I do always run the fiber long ways, just because it's hair. And that way you have a little bit of texture showing. Let's come to a point, kind of fold it back. You know how we always draw a line and fold it back. It's getting stuck to my pad. When you're making pins, you do have to pick them up a lot, or they do become one with your felting pad. And they distort a little bit when you pick them up, so you just gotta poke them back where they go. Because eventually, once they get firm enough, they're just gonna stay where you want them. I think I want his face to be a little bit shallower. So I'm going to add this is just a little dude. I thought about using real locks for his beard. I thought that, I was like, oh, maybe I'll do that again on a different one. But I was like, I think I'm just going to felt this beard first. But real locks would be cool too. You, of course, would need a better core base if you're going to do real locks. I'm not gonna lie, dinner smells really good. John is cooking and it smells really, really good. My husband is a good cook. See how I went across and it doesn't look good, so let's cover it up. It's starting to firm up. You can tell by how nice and smooth it's getting. That's why I love Corriedale slivers. And this is marigold that we're using. Cannon went hiking today. So you went to Denman. Was it wet?
It was like a little moist in some spots, but most of it was dry.
Wow.
Yeah, it felt really good in the sun.
It's so nice outside. Oof. What was the temperature when you drove over?
I don't know, but I think it was like 65 degrees earlier.
Which car did you drive?
The Corolla.
Oh.
There's a lot of rocks and stuff on the road right now.
Well, yeah, because from the snow.
Yeah.
This is Oregon. You know, you 5 minutes one way, 5 minutes the other way. You never know what the weather's going to be. I'm kind of happy to not be lambing in bad weather. Well, I don't know what kind of weather we're going to have, but not super, super cold. Normally, I'm lambing in January and February. This year, I'm not. It's kind of nice. I did a midnight check, and I went out there, and I'm like, oh, it's not even cold. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to
be in the 70s tomorrow and Friday.
I know. But isn't it supposed to rain Friday?
Doesn't look like it is anymore.
Really?
Pushed it back to Saturday.
It can rain all at once. My hay's in the barn. I got a new load of hay. My barn's clean. The girls are all ready to roll. Thought we were going to take them out there to the barn today, Cannon.
If you want to, we can go.
Or do you want to wait till the lammies are here?
Maybe we should do before and after. I don't know.
I don't know. I got some pretty large ladies out there. They'll fit in their lambing jugs much better once they lamb. And right now they are covered with molasses. I have brown-faced sheep because they've been into the molasses. Okay, so it doesn't look like much yet. But it's starting to solidify. Okay, so let's make him a little nose. Now, I normally just do it with my fingers, but you can use a skewer. We're just going to make a little nose, wrap that pretty tight. Okay, we're going to add his little nose on here. I tuck from the sides that where the fringe was, so we have that fringe. Let's use that to attach this nose. And you do probably want to stab it on pretty good, but don't collapse it totally. If you wrapped it tight, it won't collapse. Now, I feel like this guy's face is not big enough for what I want to do. Wide enough. So I'm going to add and show you how to do that. You got to cut me some slack. It's the only second time I've ever made one of these. So I'm going to make it a little bit wider. Not necessarily deeper, just wider. Oh yeah, that's better. Yes, I like this better. So again, whatever face shape you want. You know what? This guy, it looks like a face in a carrot right now. doesn't it? Look.
Yeah.
Carrot face. I'm just getting all that skin tone nice and smooth. It can go up into the green a little bit. We're going to cover that up with the hat brim. So when you get this felted enough, you're going to be able to put a little smile. You're going to have enough. That's how you know when your felting is reaching where it's supposed to be. You can start to sculpt your details. You just need a couple threads of black. Add them to your sculpted spot. I like the connection between the nose and the face to be nice and smooth. You don't want this mouth to be too wide because then it'll look silly. Okay, so now we need 2 little eyeballs. Let's make sure this is all felted nice first. There's a reason I'm putting them on now rather than waiting for a minute. So basically I'm just sculpting in like a half of a circle. Because once we put that hat brim in there, it's hard to work in there. Very few fibers. You want these to end up super thin. And then I'm going to cut that instead of double it back. I will double this piece back. Boy, I hope I'm still in the frame. Hope my head's not in the way. Canon. Because when I lean forward, I got to lean forward with my whole self. Okay, I'll try and do this upside down. Remember, just very few fibers to make his little eyes. And let's felt this nice and smooth. You guys, using just a couple fibers takes a lot of practice. So don't feel like, you know, if you're new and you're having a hard time at it, just keep practice. In fact, like practice on a sample. All right, so there is that. I'm gonna put his nose back up where it belongs. He's got a big nose. I'm gonna felt it a little bit more round rather than oblong. So to make his hat brim, we need our meadow color, just a little bit. And we're going to take our skewer and we're going to kind of figure out how far it goes. We're going to make a tube. I want you to go down and back. This will flatten out when we felt it on. And spin it in your fingers. And then this is his hat brim. Makes the perfect hat brim doing that. You're going to stab this in. It's going to hang over just a little bit. I stabbed from the back a little bit, not too much. Now, I think my hat is too wide right here, so I'm gonna work it in. This is where you make sure your shape is what you want. And that it's as tall as you want it. I'm not so sure that mine is. Oh yeah, he's okay. Make sure everything is connected. Now, we need a smidgen of black. This goes right here. This you can just poke in and wrap to the back. Try not to poke all the way through unless you're poking where the black is, but you will get some green if you poke all the way through in your black. So from the front, you can poke it down really, really firmly. Okay, he is almost done. He's pretty cute. I still keep trying to make his nose a little bit rounder. So now you take Buttercup, your little Buttercup stash. Put this over there, put that out there. And we are going to do the few fibers thing again. This time I'm going to have you twist it though. Oh yeah, I haven't made his ears yet. And we're going to make a little belt buckle. By twisting it, it gets you a straighter line. I don't know if anyone's ever told you guys, but felting tiny straight lines is hard and takes practice. So you know what's coming next. You know I'm going to cut that off. And then if you want to, you can add in, and I'm going to cut it for the piece. There's my little piece. The buckle part. You don't have to have the buckle part. And mine is disappearing. Obviously my black was not felted enough. So I don't have a buckle part anymore. Okay. Now we need some ears. Take your skin tone and you need one little pile, two little piles. You know, I like my first guy's hat better. This one's too short. I might have to fix it. And I'm just making two kind of oval shaped, pointed ovals. Is that a shape? A pointed oval cannon?
It sounds like something. Cone head.
Cone head. Two pointed ovals. Make them side by side. Draw it and then flip it over. That's what gives you your straight line. Flip the extra back in. Just making two little ears. Okay, these need to be well felted because they're sticking out to the side. Just like you're making sheep ears. These are leprechaun ears. And they go right below the hat brim. Again, don't felt all the way through. Perfect. You can felt through the beard though to attach them. There's one. Okay, I'm going to fix his hat, you guys, because, like I said, the other guy's better. So I am going to add to his hat. I'm going to make it a little wider, just a hair taller, because I'm being picky. Somebody probably would have liked it the way it was, but I didn't, so... wanted it a little bit wider than I had it. Oh yeah, much better, much better, much better. So I'm just working the little edges of his hat. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, last but not least, we gotta give him his rosy cheeks. I put a little on his nose and then inside his ears. So all that's left to do to him is you'd take and glue the pin back on, like this one is on. I went from in his ear area. Obviously, I will felt this down a little bit better, but I want to get to the rainbow, the pot of gold at the rainbow. The other thing, so what Cannon would like to do is he'll trim off all these fuzzies. And if you don't like the ears, you think they're too big, remember, you can trim them with scissors to get the exact shape you want to make him perfect. He is very cute though, and I'm very close in size, very close. But you know, I will always go back and mess with them some more because you just gotta. can make the beard have a curve. Okay, on to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's next.